This is QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Kaiba Avenue, and I am Jenna Basonko. Thanks for joining us here at the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow commissioned the new complex of Nero Company Limited, which provides ground handling services located at the Banjul International Airport on Friday. During a televised interview, Senegalese President Macky Sall told journalists that April the 2nd will be the end of his presidential mandate and that he would consider releasing opposition prisoners like Ousmane Sonko. The Gambia Immigration Department held the closing ceremony of the Border Surveillance and Territory Control training organized by Spain's Guardia Civil. The National Environment Agency organized a day-long validation forum on Thursday on the coastal zone management and strategic plans for critical stakeholders in the coastal zone sector. And in international news, South Africa's parliament has voted to impeach one of the country's top judges, John Loffey, for misconduct. Now, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay. Thank you so much for joining us. This is QTV News, and I am Jenna Basonko. President Adama Barrow commissioned the new complex of Nero Company Limited, which provides ground handling services located at the Banjul International Airport on Friday. The president says he hopes it will become a model in the aviation industry. Alois Sise has the rest of that story.
Nero Company Limited ground handling services is owned, managed, and operated by Gambians. The company provides ramp handling, aircraft cleaning, passenger handling, aviation security, in-flight catering, and VIP transfers, among others. The commissioning of this new complex forms part of activities celebrating the Gambia's 59th independence celebrations. Suleiman Cham, Chief Executive Officer of Nero Company Limited, said he is inspired to invest into the aviation industry by the President's acknowledgement of the private sector as a partner in development, an engine for growth, and his continued call for innovative investment.
To the inspiring young entrepreneurs of the Gambia, I encourage you to invest in your country and seize the abundant opportunities available. Let this moment be an inspiration for you to dream big, work hard, and contribute to the prosperity of our nation. In closing, let us not celebrate an inauguration of a facility, but a shared accomplishment of a community that believes in progress, collaboration, and a potential within each one of us.
Abdullah Konate, a young Gambian, is the contractor of this complex.
This complex comprises of 1,000 square meter RCC frame structure for the admin building, 800 square meter portal frame structure for the technical department, combined reinforced and mass concrete pavement area of 5,200 square meter to serve as parking and storage for ground support equipment and unit load devices at the airside.
SN Brussels Airlines and Askai Airlines are among the flights that have secured the ground handling services of Nero. Isaias Waldemariam Hailu, the Chief Executive Officer of Askai Airlines, a Pan-African airline that flies daily to and from the Gambia, expressed delight in partnering with Nero and looks forward to a fruitful and long-lasting relationship.
This kind of service on the continent is not in abundant supply. So Gambia is one of the lucky ones to have authentic, homegrown company, aviation company, owned, managed, and run by Africans. So this kind of initiative needs to be encouraged and supported by the government and by the society at large.
President Barrow says the establishment of Nero will create employment and contribute to the socio-economic development of the country. He hopes it becomes a model in the aviation industry.
Within the aviation industry here, Nero Company Limited now stands as a shining example of what can be achieved through innovation and determination. We acknowledge with joy that this initiative has created openings for employment and will contribute to the economic prosperity of the nation. For us, the rise of Nero signals a promise of growth and collaboration. It also portrays the capacity of our youth to initiate positive change and elevate our nation on the global stage. We are hopeful that the company will flourish to become a model in the aviation industry.
Nero started with a restaurant on Kairaba Avenue in 2015 and 9 years later expanded to providing in-flight catering and now a full ground handling company. At the time of this commissioning, the company employs over 200 Gambians. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
During a televised interview, Senegalese President Macky Sall told journalists that April the 2nd will be the end of his presidential mandate and that he would consider releasing opposition prisoners like Ousmane Sonko. These president's remarks have laid to rest widespread concern that Sall planned to stay in power beyond his constitutional mandate amidst a political and constitutional crisis following his decision to postpone the elections. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that story.
President Macky Sall appeared live on television on Thursday, engaging with journalists to address several questions. Gripped by an atmosphere of electoral and constitutional uncertainty, most of the Senegalese population would have tuned in, anticipating that the president would use the opportunity to confirm a new date for Senegal's postponed presidential elections. However, the president explained that he prefers to engage major political actors for a consultative decision on this matter. In response to a question on this subject, he replied, and I quote, "As far as the new election date is concerned, we will see from the outcome of consultations, which are expected to begin on Monday, February 26, and probably end on Tuesday. The election can be held before or after April 2nd. If a consensus is not reached, everything will be referred to the council." End of quote. Senegal is witnessing one of its worst political crises, with its democracy hanging in the balance. This comes after President Macky Sall appeared on television on 5th February and announced his decision to cancel his country's presidential election hours before the commencement of campaigning. The outgoing president cited a dispute over the list of approved candidates for the election and corruption of the judges on the Constitutional Council. This is the first time polls has been cancelled in the country. Sall's decision secured the backing of Senegal's parliament, the National Assembly, who voted a bill to extend Sall's mandate and rescheduled the presidential elections to December, only after several opposition lawmakers had been forcibly ejected from the chamber. Opposition candidates and their supporters responded ferociously and staged mass protests across the country, leading to clashes with police, which left at least 4 people dead. The opposition described President Sall's cancellation of the election as a quote-unquote constitutional coup, arguing that his party feared defeat at the ballot box. In another move, the opposition challenged Sall's decision at the Constitutional Council. Judges of the council handed down a ruling that declared unconstitutional President Sall and Parliament's decision to reschedule the election and extend the president's mandate. In this interview, President Macky Sall puts to rest public fears and concerns that he intends to prolong his mandate, declaring, and I quote, "I would like this debate to be clearly settled. On February 2nd, 2024, my mission ends as head of state." End of quote. In an attempt to alleviate the heated political atmosphere in Senegal, the Senegalese president revealed plans to consider a pardon or an amnesty for his former political adversaries. Answering a question on whether he would grant amnesty for the release of opposition figure Ousmane Sonko and Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the candidate for the banned opposition party PASTEF, President Sall responded that, and I quote, "I am ready to go that far so that everyone can benefit from this pardon, and so that Senegal can move towards these elections in a peaceful manner." While many would see those remarks having the potential to lower the temperature of Senegal's political climate, outgoing President Macky Sall will likely leave behind a country that will take some time to heal from the wounds of political tensions. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
We will keep you posted on developments. The Gambia Immigration Department held a closing ceremony of the Border Surveillance and Territory Control Training organized by Spain's Guardia Civil. Lena Igwenyiba has the rest of that story.
21 representatives from the different security agencies dealing with border control, border surveillance and cross-border crimes investigations in the Gambia took part in the training program. CDM Toure is the Director General of Immigration.
The legal requirement is such that every person entering or leaving the Gambia is required to present him or herself before an immigration officer at the port of entry or exit, be properly identified and recorded accordingly. However, due to the advancement in technology and globalization, a great challenge has been posed to immigration authorities almost everywhere in the world, and GID is no exception. This phenomenon has given rise to and facilitated migrant smuggling, trafficking in persons, and movement of terrorist elements and other undesirable persons across borders undetected. The training conducted for the officials will indeed go a long way in enhancing our capacity in the overall management and control of our national frontiers.
Violeta Insa Sandoval, the chargé d'affaires at the Spanish Embassy, and Major Eduardo Leon, Director of Training at Guardia Civil, hailed the partnership between Gambia and Spain to fight organized crimes, highlighting that this common goal can be achieved only through effective collaboration.
It has been 3 weeks of intense theoretical knowledges, but also practical exercises, lessons that will be of great value for the members of these different security forces in their daily work. This shows the commitment maintained by Spain in its collaboration with the Gambia in the field of security. Only by keeping this close collaboration can we face the challenges posed by border control, especially irregular migration.
The discourse is not only about how to combat irregular immigration. Discourse is also about how to combat organized crime and the different types of criminality. Discourse is also about fundamental rights, because law enforcement officers are not above the law. Discourse is about the control of the territory, because the Gambia agencies, you, must control your territory in order to prevent crime and to guarantee citizen security.
Alaji Estamba, a participant, expressed gratitude for the training and Guardia Civil for providing this invaluable technical support.
The comprehensive training provided by the Guardia Civil has played a pivotal role in enhancing the capabilities and skills of our border enforcement officers, equip us with necessary knowledge and expertise to effectively identify risk indicators, secure our borders, combat illegal activities. We are confident that the training provided will have a lasting and positive impact on our operation.
Though yet to be officially inaugurated, the Gambia Immigration Department took the opportunity to show its state-of-the-art forensic lab, the first of its kind in the Gambia. The operation of this lab will mark a significant stride in the Gambia's pursuit of enhancing border security, intelligence gathering and sharing, cooperation with international partners, implementing fraud detection measures, and enhancing legal frameworks and enforcement mechanisms. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Significant step there from that story by Lena Igwenyiba. We'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have local and international news stories. Do stay.
Tobacco Control Act 2016 came into force in December 2018. Section 9 of the Act gives every person the right to a tobacco smoke-free environment, and a person consuming a tobacco product shall ensure that he or she does not expose another person to tobacco smoke. The Tobacco Control Act 2016 prohibits smoking, including the use of shisha in public places, workplaces, and public transports. A person shall not smoke in any part of any public place, workplace, or public transport and within 100 meters of such place. These places include hotels, restaurants, bars, office buildings, schools, garages, prisons, police cells, video clubs, and public service vehicles, among others. Any person responsible for a public place, workplace, or public transport shall ensure the observance of this section. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Management Sciences for Health. The Gambia Revenue Authority GRA will hold the 6th edition of the Taxpayers Appreciation and Award Ceremony on Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. Oh yes, the awards is dedicated to our esteemed and valued taxpayers who consistently pay their taxes and duties on time, file their tax returns on time, present authentic and original customs documents, and comply with relevant provisions of the revenue laws. The ceremony will be graced by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Cabinet Ministers, senior government officials, members of the business community and development partners. A memorable night is assured in this year's award ceremony, which will take place on Saturday, March 2nd at the Kairaba Beach Hotel, commencing at 7:30 p.m. GRA is your GRA. GRA is our GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Jenna Basonko. Now, the National Environment Agency, with funding from the European Union through the Gambia-EU cooperation focusing on climate-resilient coastal and marine zone for the Gambia, organized a day-long validation workshop on Thursday on the coastal zone management and strategic plans for the critical stakeholders in the coastal zone sector. Loli M. Kamara tells us more.
Once finalized, the agreed plans will outline operating policies, processes and procedures of an integrated coastal zone management ICZM coordinating body to lead a new model of shared leadership and management of the Gambia's coastal zone and help coastal communities build their resilience to adapt to the impact of climate change through institutional capacity building such as this one. The GCCA Plus Support Project to the Gambia for Integrated Coastal Zone Management ICZM and mainstreaming of climate change is funded by the European Union in partnership with the government of the Gambia and is being implemented by the National Environment Agency. Abubakar Kujabi, the program officer of the Coastal and Marine Environmental Program, explains the need for and importance of these documents.
The main goal is to enhance stakeholders' cooperation in coastal zone management. Therefore, no single institution is able to manage or protect our natural resources along the coastline adequately. Therefore, the need to invite you as key stakeholders to go through these two documents, scrutinize it, and see where exactly adjustment is needed. Looking at the current status, as I said, since it was developed almost a decade ago, a lot of things might have changed along the way.
Coastal management reduces the risk of flooding by slowing down erosion, scattering wave energy, and creating defenses to hold back waves. With climate change and rising sea levels, it is important to get protection from more frequent and intense storms. Participants from the various environmental institutions gave presentations on climate change-related vulnerabilities within the coastal zones. Heiko Selad, GCCA Plus Project Team Leader, and Evangelina Blanco Gonzalez, Program Officer for the European Union Delegation to the Gambia, respectively, applauded the organizers of this event for bringing together these different stakeholders. They also used the occasion to implore them to give their full consideration to the document being discussed. Lamin Koma, the program manager for the National Environment Agency, on behalf of his director, says their presentations focuses on integrated coastal zone management to support the finalization of documents that were developed in 2014.
The strategic plan for coastal zone management that sets out policy directions to address legal, institutional, social, economic, and environmental issues through the establishment of common goals. These two documents effectively outlined the what to do and the how to do it, respectively.
The fundamental goal of Integrated Coastal Zone Management Project, ICZM, is to maintain, restore, and improve the quality of coastal ecosystems and the societies they support. It is hoped that, after today's engagement, the documents agreed upon will bring about the much-needed development in the functional of ICZM to tackle the Gambia's coastline-related environmental challenges. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Sister security forces in Basse in the Upper River region commemorated the Gambia's 59th independence anniversary on Sunday. Our reporter Alaji A.F. Jallo was in attendance.
The sister security forces comprises the Army, the Police, the Immigration Department, the State Intelligence Services, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Fire and Rescue Services, and the Gambia Revenue Authority. The event commemorating Independence Day was marked by a road run and a symposium at Basse Military Barracks. Commissioner Ibrahim Mane of the Immigration Department in URR spoke about the strides and contribution of our independence founding fathers.
We are all aware, or at some point we are all being taught in schools, what our great-grandparents and mothers have endured as a matter of the slave trade that was painfully and highly inflicted on all of us, to what our great-grandparents have endured in the hand of our colonial masters. You know, fast forward down the line, in 1965, attributed to the great work and strive that our brothers and sisters, citizens of the Gambia, in the name of Sadaura Kairaba Jawara, Edward Francis Small, Asan Musa Kamara, the Bibi Dabo, and many others who have fought so hard, you know, for the Gambia to attain independence in 1965.
Famara Jallo, the Commissioner of Police in URR, calls for closer collaboration among the security forces in the country to attain sustainable peace and security.
We have to cooperate in order to make sure that we are able to do our job. But when the cooperation is there, the togetherness is not there, the oneness is not there, it means to say then definitely we cannot organize such a thing. And it's only as a result of that togetherness we are able to secure the country. But otherwise, it's a problem. And we are going to save and secure URR at any cost.
The CEO of the 3 Infantry Battalion in URR, Lieutenant Colonel Sajo Jajo, highlighted the importance of celebrating independence and also reaffirmed the security forces' commitment to continue serving the nation by protecting the territorial integrity of the Gambia.
If I have another word that can be used more than important, I will use it. Independence. I mean, I don't know of other people, the way people think of an independent. As far as I'm concerned, you know, if you think about the history of other countries before they gained their independence, lives were perished, lives were lost, properties were destroyed. Ours, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, we got it on a silver plate, all right? No single shot was fired, so we must celebrate it.
The Gambia's Independence Day is observed on 18 February every year, and the celebration ended with traditional dances and sharing of Gambian food and refreshments. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jallo.
Now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. South Africa's parliament has voted to impeach one of the country's top judges, John Loffey, for misconduct. The move was welcomed by the governing ANC as well as the main opposition Democratic Alliance, plus other minor parties.
This unprecedented move came after an investigation found that John Loffey, the leading judge in Western Cape Province, tries to influence justices at the country's top court in the case relating to former President Jacob Zuma. An investigation found that in 2008, Mr. Lope had made contact with 2 of the 11 judges of the Constitutional Court to sway a ruling in Mr. Zuma's favor relating to a matter in his arms deal corruption case. Mr. Lope denied the allegations. The long delay between the alleged offense and his impeachment was as a result of lengthy appeals and investigations. Just hours before the parliamentary vote, Mr. Lope had appealed to a court in a last-ditch attempt to halt the impeachment process. His impeachment was quickly followed by that of Mr. Mutata, who has since retired as a High Court judge in Gauteng Province at the time of the incident. Lawyer and the co-coordinator of the advocacy group, Judges Matter, Alison Tiley, told the BBC that the removals were an important moment in the country's history,
However, the opposition party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, voted against the impeachments, with one of the NAMs arguing that the judges were remorseful and should be allowed to live the rest of their lives in peace. President Cyril Ramaphosa will now have to sign off the decision and set a date for their formal removal, according to a BBC report. The judges will then lose all benefits, including a lifetime salary worth over 1 million rand, which is equivalent to $53,000 a year, a car, allowance and comprehensive medical care. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
From that story by Julden Jai, let's recap our main headlines before we leave. President Adama Barrow commissioned the new complex of Nero Company Limited, which provides ground handling services located at the Banjul International Airport on Friday. During a televised interview, Senegalese President Macky Sall told journalists that April the 2nd will be the end of his presidential mandate and that he would consider releasing opposition prisoners like Ousmane Sonko. The Gambia Immigration Department held the closing ceremony of the Border Surveillance and Territory Control Training organized by Spain's Guardia Civil. The National Environment Agency organized a day-long validation forum on Thursday on the coastal zone management and strategic plans for critical stakeholders in the coastal zone sector. In international news, South Africa's parliament has voted to impeach one of the country's top judges, John Loffey, for misconduct. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for mornings. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend.